Metamorphosa Change Consulting channel, where you can find latest insights on change management practice and application to guide you on your change journey. Subscribe and like us to keep you updated. Hi guys, today we will continue our Fundamental of Organizational Change series and discuss about the planning, implementation, and monitoring cycle as part 2 of the course of action session. Let's recap of what we discussed previously. We have discussed about leadership, culture, and competencies, and we are talking about course of actions, which is the third pillar of change management. Breaking down this pillar to its components, we have discussed that it has a preparation step at the base and three iterative components of activities that continuously run and push the change forward at the top, which is called the plan, implement, and monitor or review, or in short, PIM cycle. Today we will talk about this cycle. In the planning phase of the PIM cycle, there are several things that we need to do. First, we need to identify how the change project will be executed. Identify the common group of works, which we usually call the work streams, and select people to lead and to be a member in each of these work streams. Next, we need to identify implementation team structure. We also need to identify management team to be in the workstream committee. And depending on the size of the organization, we might need top-level steering committee to oversee the whole progress of the project. The third thing we need to do in planning phase is a detailed project schedule, which include communication plan execution schedule, along with the PIC, person in charge of each task in here. Gantt chart is a useful tool to use here, and project management software can also help us a lot to prepare this accurately. The fourth thing we need to do here is project management plan. This is a detailed run book of how the project will be executed from end to end. If and only if the project is minor and resource is very limited, these documentations can be waived. Finally, we need to put all the plan into the project charter to complete it. This charter will have to be then approved by management or other significant stakeholders as a formal agreement to run the project. If there is any hesitations to do so, it indicates that we have not clearly acquired buy-ins and therefore need to do so prior to continuing the work. Next, we move on to the implementation phase. A project kickoff with the team members and management team is important to have. Kickoff is the first attention grabber in the mind of the people in the organization. It also serves as the first high-level information session about what the project is all about. It has to be concise and to the point. After project kickoff, the detailed activities will be led by each workstream leaders. It has to follow the detailed project plan that was made previously. There are 5 support procedures that need to be in place to govern the leaders in running these activities. First, we need a process for issue identification, resolutions, and escalation. Second, we need a process for risk identification and mitigation. Third, we need work cycle for stakeholder management. This one has sensitive information and it has to be kept confidential only by the overall lead and or top management who champions the change initiative. Fourth, we need a weekly work cycle for each of the work stream. And finally, we need budget tracking process, especially for high capital projects. Keep in mind that work meetings in this phase do not have to be in the form of big meetings in conference room. Smaller single-point discussion meetings and even meetings on the shop floor is acceptable. Next, we are moving to the monitoring phase in the cycle. This is a review phase where we routinely meet to understand what we have done, what we will do, and how we are doing compared to the plan. There are 5 monitoring activities that we do in this phase. First, we do weekly progress report for each work streams. This is in the form of this week and next week updates and plans. Second, we will create, update, and review what we call an IRAD log, also on weekly basis, to ensure we address any obstacles that appear as the project progresses. Third, this is also confidential in nature. We need to update on how the communication plan is going. How does it affect the mapping of stakeholder and TPC condition of the organization? And what should be done to further improve the situation? Fourth, we will have a monthly schedule for project workstream committee update, where we also discuss issues and resolutions that require cross-workstream consensus. Fifth, if we have a steering committee like we discussed before, we will do top management steering committee review to provide high-level updates on how our project progresses and, more importantly, to gain top-level consensus on issues, risks, and various decisions that need to be made along the way. Last but not least, if the space permits and also if the project is large enough, it is advisable if we can have an OBEA, which is a centralized command center or war room that has all the updates information displayed for easy review and analysis. So that concludes the summarized step-by-step info on the PIM cycle. We find that using this format will make our change journey more structured, problems handled more timely, progress more visible, and success more predictable. Thank you very much for listening. Stay tuned for next video. Don't forget to subscribe and like us. See ya!